its first international mediation competition virtually from 23rd to 25th of March 2022. The Kerala Law Academy Law College is organizing its first international mediation competition virtually from 23rd to 25th of March 2022. The Kerala Law Academy Law College is organizing its first international mediation competition virtually from 23rd to 25th of March 2022.
Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. These are the words of Albert Einstein, a German-born theoretical physicist.
Mediation and reconciliation work is about a profound quest for justice and social transformation. They're about service, solidarity, exploring and rediscovering the human spirit that has been lost or shattered through human conflict, cruelty, ignorance, and greed. For the past 3 days, we have witnessed what can best be described as a pursuit which was intended at molding efficacious baton bearers of justice in order to fulfill this purpose.
Today, we're all gathered here on this virtual platform for the closing ceremony of the first international mediation competition put forth by Kerala Law Academy Law College, Moot Court Society, in association with Kerala Law Academy ADR Forum under the aegis of Kerala Law Academy Law College.
Kerala Law Academy Law College, since its inception into the legal hippodrome by the legal luminary, late Dr. N. Narayanan Nair Sir, in the year 1966, has always been a promoter of avant-garde in the field of legal education, consultancy, research, and in pioneering legal reforms, at the same time being a seat of excellence in them. It goes without saying, Kerala Law Academy is always a pace-setter in bringing out the untapped nuances in the dynamics of inculcating erudition with the aid of state-of-the-art methods of education, which is supposed to meet the needs of the changing times, and teachers who are adapting their respective discipline.
Kerala Law Academy Moot Court Society is one of its kind in the whole fraternity of legal education, with the sole aim to bestow the students of Kerala Law Academy ample opportunities to foster research skills, oral advocacy skills, legal drafting skills, and other essential expertise to mold an individual into a seasoned litigator.
Through Kerala Law Academy ADR Forum, Kerala Law Academy is in its constant rumination to build an ADR culture, which will be the future of dispute resolution, owing to the ever-increasing burden of judiciary. Through this international mediation competition, Kerala Law Academy aims at inculcating international ethos into the Indian standards of ADR.
I extend a delightful evening to all those who are present here on this auspicious occasion. Today, we are blessed with the presence of esteemed personalities on this virtual dais.
It is a welcome gift to encourage others to achieve greatness. We have Sri N.K. Shashidharan Sir, Assistant Professor, Kerala Law Academy Law College, with us. He is an outstanding academician and retired IFS officer. From the bottom of my heart, I invite Sri N.K. Shashidharan Sir to officially welcome our guest into this valedictory session. Sir, please.
Thank you, Gogul. Good evening, one and all. The Indian Parliament referred the Mediation Bill 2021 to the Select Committee in December 2021 prior to enacting it as a legislation. The bill has emphasized the need of mediation as a mechanism for cheap and speedy dispute resolution. One of the highlights of the bill is that the settlement through mediation will be enforceable as a decree, order, or judgment of a court. It also provides for community mediation to resolve disputes likely to affect peace and harmony of a locality. Under this backdrop, the first international mediation competition is conducted from 23rd to 25 March 2022 at Kerala Law Academy. It is my honor and privilege to welcome the dignitaries, participants of the competition, teachers, students, non-teaching staff, and friends of Kerala Law Academy to the valedictory function on this fine evening. At the outset, I would like to welcome Advocate Nagaraj Narayanan, Director, Kerala Law Academy, who found time amidst his busy schedule as the Special Government Pleader for Forest at the Kerala High Court to guide us to successfully organize this competition. Sir, a hearty welcome to this valedictory function. Professor K. Harindran, Principal, has always been a strength and inspiration to all the activities at Kerala Law Academy. Sir, a lovable welcome to this valedictory function. Professor K. Anil Kumar, Director, Students and Faculty Affairs, Kerala Law Academy, has guided us with his rich management expertise in all the events in this institution. Sir, a warm welcome and thank you for having with us on this fine evening. It is with pride and pleasure that I extend a warm welcome to the honorable guests. Mr. Bob Oberstein, the renowned arbitrator, mediator, investigator, educator from Washington, is delivering the valedictory address and declaring the prize winners of this competition. Sir, a hearty welcome to this function. Mr. Dogan Bader, arbitrator, mediator, LLM, MA from Los Angeles, is the keynote speaker. Sir, a warm welcome to this valedictory function. Mr. Anatoly Kosturba, Director of Law, Professor, Civil Law Department, Ukraine, is delivering special address. Sir, hearty welcome and thank you for having with us on this fine evening. Warm welcome to Srimati Darshana Stambi, who will deliver felicitation speech. Ms. Sruthi Kannan will propose a vote of thanks. Hearty welcome, Sruthi. I welcome with pleasure faculty conveners Professor Ajita Nair, Dr. Dakshina Saraswati, Assistant Professors A.P. Shalini, Priya M.K., Ranjit Nair, Arya Sunil Paul, Radhika R.P. and Shakti Prabha. Hearty welcome to student conveners Ajay V, Rishikesh Jaraman, Abhirami S, Anandu R.S., Vishnu Priya, Indu Santosh Nair, Devika Tambi, Darshana Vikram, Sri Durga, Arjun PM, Gobiga Shashi, Ashik Muhammad, Nanda Kishore, Gogol Rajan, Sandeep SP, and Mumna Naushad. Warm welcome to all the participants who cooperated wholeheartedly for the successful conduct of this competition. Welcome Vishnu, Arun, and Rahul of technical team who coordinated this online competition. Last but not least, hearty welcome to teachers, students, friends, well-wishers, and non-teaching staff of Kerala Law Academy who enthusiastically made their presence felt during these 3 days. Before signing off, I extend my thanks to all those who have graced this function with their presence. Thank you all. Have a fine evening.
Thank you, sir, for your warm welcome. I take this opportunity to welcome you too in the ceremony, sir.
Thank you, Goku.
The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He's the one that gets people to do the greatest things. This statement is indeed true for all of us. Today, we have Professor Harindran K., Principal, Kerala Law Academy, Law College, a man with charismatic personality and extreme energy. I take this opportunity to invite Harindran K. Sir to present the presidential address to this session. Sir, please.
Thanks, Hanan Asaf, for your kind words. A warm evening to one and all. At the outset, I am most respectfully remembering our founder director, late Dr. N. Narayanan Nair, sir, who was a leading light, spirit, and a backbone of our prestigious institution. Respected Mr. Bob Oberstein, a world-renowned arbitrator, mediator, investigator, educator in Washington, who will deliver the valedictory address and declare the winners in this competition. Respected Mr. Dukan Bader, arbitrator, mediator in Los Angeles, California. He is a keynote speaker in this function. Respected Mr. Anatoly V. Kostyuba, Doctor of Law, Professor, Civil Law Department, Ukraine, who will deliver the special address here. Respected Advocate Nagaraj Narayanan sir, the director of this institution and the chairman of the Moot Court Society and the real designer and architecture of this international mediation competition. Respected Professor K. Anil Kumar sir, Director, Students and Faculty Affairs, and the real organizer of this international mediation competition. My dear Mr. N.K. Shashidharan, Assistant Professor, who introduced and welcomed the distinguished dignitaries in the virtual dais. Dr. Dakshina Saraswati, the General Secretary of Moot Court Society, Kerala Law Academy, Law College. Dear Mrs. Darshana Thambi, Assistant Professor, who will felicitate this function now. Then Ms. Shruti Kannan, the Joint Convener, Moot Court Society, who will expose our gratitude and thankfulness to all the dignitaries in the virtual dais. And other distinguished invitees, my dear colleagues, participants, students, parents, and all other well-wishers of this institution. As pointed out by the welcome speaker, N.K. Shashidharan sir, the Kerala Law Academy Law College conducted the first international mediation competition scheduled from 23rd to 25th of this month and now has become a successful conclusion. Though the international mediation competition or through this mediation competition, we aim to inculcate international character, atmosphere, and spirit into the Indian standards of alternative dispute resolution mechanism, especially in mediation. As you know, mediation is a dynamic process. The settlement of disputes in an amicable way is the hallmark of the whole civilization in the world. At this juncture, I remember the great words of Joseph Greenbaum, who compared the mechanism with the arbitration and the litigation, and also measured the same in the 3 units of measurements: ounce, pound, and ton. He said, an ounce of mediation is worth a pound of arbitration and a ton of litigation. From this comparison and measurement, we can understand the importance and relevance of the mediation as an effective system for settling the disputes out of courts. That is why we projected and highlighted the mechanism mediation in this constitution, in this competition. I take this opportunity to appreciate all the persons for their valuable and extensive contribution, and also congratulate all the faculty conveners and student conveners for conducting this international mediation competition in a successful, recognizable, and commendable manner. With these words, I am concluding my presidential address. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words. We are truly inspired.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Quoted by Martin Luther King Jr. Now, we are honored with the presence of Mr. Bob Oberstein, who is a world-renowned arbitrator, mediator, investigator, and educator based in Washington. With absolute immense pleasure and joy, I welcome Mr. Bob Oberstein to address the valedictory session. Sir, please.
Thank you so much. And I bring greetings and well wishes to all, and congratulations to the organizers and the participants from those of us in the United States of America, and specifically from its West Coast in what we call the great Pacific Northwest. I want to take this moment to express my gratitude to the Keeler Law Academy Law College, its Moot Court Society and ADR Forum, and the organizing committee for the privilege and honor to not only be a judge in the final round at your first international mediation competition, and I'm sure it won't be your last, but to also serve alongside my esteemed notable judges, Mr. Dogan Bader and Dr. Anatoly Kostruba. Additionally, I wish to express my thanks to all for the opportunity to say a few valedictory words. And since you've all worked very hard and are full of anticipation, anxiously awaiting the competition results so you can then celebrate and relax, I'll try and keep my remarks as short as possible. But first, my favorite mediator joke. It's actually the only mediator joke I know. How many mediators does it take to screw in a light bulb? The answer? None. Why? Because the parties have to do it themselves. On the one hand, it's a joke. On the other, it's a guiding principle for facilitative and even directive mediators. That's because in its simplest form, mediation is always about and for the parties, and never about or for the mediator. This is a crucial concept, my friends, because it creates a fundamental boundary which simultaneously decreases the mediator's investment in the outcome of the process while increasing the responsibility and the accountability of the parties for their mutual self-interest in achieving resolution. Please note, it's their dispute, never the mediator's. So while the process of the mediation is the province of the mediator, the dispute and its ultimate resolution must always lie with the parties. So continuing with the joke's analogy, the mediator brings the light bulb and maybe even a ladder, but it's the parties who have to use them. Now, people are always asking me how I got started. And in my case, it was my family of origin. Not that they were lawyers or mediators, they were combatants. And part of the family at the holiday dinners was on the labor side of the table. The other part was on the management side of the table. In some cases, one was trying to organize the workers of the other. And that's where I first heard terms like socialist and communist and capitalist and other things that I can't repeat here. And at one point, I had one uncle who had the potatoes. I had another uncle who had the gravy. And they were fighting with each other, and they weren't going to relinquish either one. And I, on behalf of my cousins, started to get involved and try and talk them out of both the potatoes and gravy so the rest of us wouldn't starve. That was when I first realized that I liked doing that. In elementary school, when my parents came home one night from talking with my teachers for parent-teacher night, they told, the teacher said, you know, I don't know what we're going to do with him. He doesn't like to do his homework. He likes to kid around all the time. He's the class cut up. But when there's a fight on the playground, he's the first one in the middle to try and stop it. And at that point, we were living in New York City, the teachers had just started to organize into a union. And terms like mediation and arbitration were being thrown around. And my parents said to me, and this is the first time I ever heard those words, well, maybe you could become a mediator or an arbitrator. But it wasn't exactly a career path. So when I went to university, I studied poetry. And it's interesting because Chief Justice Earl Warren of the United States Supreme Court was once asked, what is the most important thing you can study for a career in law? And his answer was poetry. And when asked why, he said, where else can you be given a text and asked how many possible different meanings can this have? But there were no jobs for poets when I graduated. So I went into the family business and I became a tradesman. an electrician, and I got involved in the labor movement. And from there, that's when I learned to be at the bargaining table, to negotiate, and to work with mediators. And after a while, and after more university study, I went to the other side of the table. And interestingly enough, this gave me opportunities to be in the middle because I was able to see the common ground between both parties. In fact, when I worked in Arizona, during the day I represented management, but because I was teaching at night, I was organizing the teachers. And so my boss used to tease me and said that I put on a cape and a mask at night and did that other work for the labor unions. But he was a very understanding soul. This is where I got my formal mediation training through the Attorney General's office in Arizona and the city of Phoenix and all of these other programs, working as a community mediator, mediating car disputes through the Better Business Bureau, and eventually working my way up to doing construction, commercial. The agency here in the United States is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and being in charge of the Labor Management Relations Program at one of the local universities, and also doing commercial and financial cases, as well as then arbitrating single and multi-party disputes. So the one thing I like about the field of conflict resolution is there's no set way to do it. And it's never too late to get the training and to go with your instincts, because one of the, I think I've been told interesting things about my career is that I didn't go to law school until 2 years ago. That's when I went to Tulane and I graduated. And it was a nice rounding out of all the experience. But back to this competition. I want you to know, pardon me, it was an absolute pleasure to observe the competitors. They were highly skilled practitioners, not just with the process, but demonstrated astute listening skills, patience, creativity, and professional respect for each other. And above all, they made connections across the table. So judging was not an easy task, and the choices were difficult. And for those who are not prize winners, please rejoice that you're among the best, and tomorrow we'll bring new opportunities for you to shine your light. My compliments to your respective teachers and mentors. It was obvious that they've taught you well, and your mediation skills do them honor. However, this is not the end, but only the beginning of your next steps. Now your task is to continue to hone your skills, because the world has never been short of strife, and mediation can be that light at the end of the tunnel. As we know, there's no greater exhilaration than to be able to bring parties together by transforming strife into peace. And could there be any more pressing time for it than now? So please continue to be peacemakers. The world needs you, especially in mediation. So with those thoughts in mind, my valedictory charge to all of you is go and make peace. And in that vein, please join me when I say aloud to my co-judge, Dr. Kostruba, what I believe he and his country already know. We are with you and wish you peace. Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure was all mine. Please ask me back, and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words.
Today, we're in the presence of an eminent personality, Mr. Dogan Bedar. He possesses the epitome of legal knowledge. He's an arbitrator and mediator based in Los Angeles, California. It's a matter of immense privilege to welcome Mr. Dogan Bedar for the keynote address. Sir, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to start with stating that I feel privileged to be a part of the first international mediation competition organized and held by Kerala Law Academy, and to be a part of such an honorable judges with Mr. Bob Oberstein and Oberstein, because my first language is German. Sorry for my pronunciation. Mr. Bob Oberstein, and with Professor Anatoly Kostruba. I mean, it looks like we have come, our path was a little bit different, but we all got on the same path. As I listened to Mr. Oberstein, I smiled because I was a litigator. And so for me, being a litigator was being a knight. I mean, fighting for the client or fighting for the party that you are representing. And when I negotiated for the agreements, so I was just position-based, and I didn't let the agreement signed until I got what I wanted or what I wanted for my client. So at the end, some of the businesses after a couple of years didn't make anymore, because actually the clauses or the terms that I negotiated and I was happy about were not actually doable. So when I turned to my 50s, I don't know, I think somehow I said, okay, it's the time to change my life or my path. And I immigrated to US. I got an invitation from a university, and all of a sudden I got involved with ADR. So then I learned that the arbitration was not a part of ADR, but actually I started with arbitration. And then after involving in the mediation sessions or the arbitration sessions as the party lawyer or the counselor, I got more into it and I liked it. So it was more amicable, and so it was more interest-based. And at the end, both parties were happy. And the result was more creative rather than the litigation. I should say the most difficult part for me to shifting from litigation to mediation was changing my attitude as a litigation lawyer, position-based lawyering and position-based negotiation. And so that I was happy today to see the effort of the participants, although due to time limit, they were not really able to get into the interest-based negotiation, but they were on this direction. And I'm sure if they had more time, they could reach a more creative and interest-based solution for both parties. And I really appreciate this organization or similar organizations to support and to give the chance to the students to practice mediation. And I don't know what is, I mean, I think that India is special in mediation, especially in mediation. India has a natural talent, and I see the people are more friendly. Even one of the counselor that I, let's say, I recommended being less position-based, he was very friendly. He was actually less position-based than I used to be. So I congratulate all the participants, and I congratulate the organization. And so I would like to express again that I feel privileged to be a part of this organization. Thank you very much.
I extend my heartfelt thanks to you, sir, for your valuable words of wisdom, and we are extremely honored and privileged to have you on board with us.
Now, we have the presence of Mr. Anatoly V. Kostrba, Professor, Civil Law Department, Ukraine, with us. He holds a doctorate in law and has more than 290 publications to his credit. With utmost honor and joy, I invite Mr. Anatoly V. Kostrba for the special address. Sir, please. Sorry for the inconvenience. Due to some unforeseen circumstances, Anatoly V. Kostrba, sir, will not be able to join us.
A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite imagination, and instill a love for learning. This saying is indeed true in all senses for us. We have Ms. Darshana SMP, Assistant Professor, Kerala Law Academy, Law College with us. With all due respect, I invite Ms. Darshana ma'am to deliver the felicitation to this event. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Hanan. Good evening, respected Mr. Bob Oberstein, arbitrator, mediator, investigator, and educator, Washington, Mr. Jogan Bader, arbitrator, mediator, Los Angeles, California, Mr. Anatoly V. Kostruba, Doctor of Law, Professor, Civil Law Department, Ukraine, Advocate Nagaraj Narayan Sir, Director, Kerala Law Academy, Professor Harindan K, Principal, Kerala Law Academy, Professor Anil Kumar K, Sir, Director, Students and Faculty Affairs, Mr. N.K. Shashisaran Sir, Assistant Professor, Kerala Law Academy, organizers, and my dear students. It's a matter of great privilege to deliver the felicitation speech for the first international mediation competition organized by Kerala Law Academy Law College. The Kerala Law Academy Law College, which began its strides since the year 1966, could have remained a far-fetched dream without our beloved Narayanan Nair Sir's vision-inspired approaches. He himself was a legal enthusiast and scholar who made the dream realizable by laying a strong foundation to this revered institution. Kerala Law Academy Moodcoach Society is one of its kind in the world fraternity of legal education, with sole aim to bestow the students of KLA ample opportunities to foster research, oral advocacy, legal drafting skills, and other essential expertise to mold an individual into a seasoned litigator. Formed in 1989, Kerala Law Academy Moodcoach Society has an extensive training module which involves the development of art of drafting, besides helping them to acquire proficiency in articulation and analysis of legal and factual issues. Kerala Law Academy, through its first international mediation competition, is pioneering a new dimension in the legal arena, which is of immense importance in the time. We are all living in alternate dispute resolutions, or ADR. The first international mediation competition organized by Kerala Law Academy was a grand success. We received a worldwide response, attracting participants from all over the world. The competition was really a tough one. All the teams were equally good, and it was difficult for us to decide one winner. All the competition should happen in the true spirit of sportsmanship. Life is made beautiful by shared moments like this. I wish you all success. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for delivering the felicitation to this event.
Now, we have reached the moment that we were all waiting for. I request Mr. Bob Oberstein to declare the winners of the first international mediation competition put forward by Kerala Law Academy Moodcoach Society in association with Kerala Law Academy ADR Forum under the aegis of Kerala Law Academy Law College. Sir, please.
Thank you. In just a few days in Los Angeles, they'll be saying, and the winner is. So I kind of feel like I'm at the Academy Awards. And the winning team is School of Law Christ, deemed to be university. And the runner-up team is Symbiosis Law School from Hyderabad. And the best mediator is Rupali Hadikari. I hope I pronounced that right. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir, for declaring the winners of the first international mediation competition put forward by Kerala Law Academy of Moot Court Society in association with Kerala Law Academy ADR Forum under the aegis of Kerala Law Academy Law College. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to all the winners. Now, we have a feedback session. I request the finalists of the first international mediation competition for the same. We shall begin with Team Code F.
Thank you, Gokul. Firstly, thank you so much for having us at the first international mediation competition. We're absolutely delighted to have won this competition. I was asked to give our feedback on this competition, and this was the first time that me and the council, the role which was taken by Sumuk, this was our first mediation competition. So for our first experience, this was absolutely amazing. I'd like to congratulate all the organizing committee members on their success, and I'd also I'm absolutely honored to be in the midst of such excellent arbitrators and mediators, and it's an absolute honor to have been in a round judged by such an esteemed panel. So I thank you for all the valuable feedback that we got from that finals and throughout the competition. I'd also like to thank Aruja, who was the usher from the participant managing committee for the event, who kept giving us constant updates. So thank you for bearing with our team for the past 3 days. And once again, congratulations. And I hope that we get to see more editions of this competition. And surely School of Law will be sending more participants for the same. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you for your valuable words, TZF. Now we have TZA with their valuable feedback.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I would like to start off by thanking our host college for organizing such an enriching event. I'd also like to thank our usher, Ms. Agraja, for helping us throughout the competition. I would like to take up this opportunity to thank our judges for their constructive comments and their feedbacks. I think results aside, all of us young learners are very inquisitive and we want to get more such constructive feedbacks. So thank you, KLA, once again for inviting such eminent and knowledgeable professionals of the field. And last but not the least, I would like to thank all our co-participants for joining us in this competition. It was a pleasure learning with you and from you.
Thank you so much, TCA, for your valuable words. Gratitude is not only the greatest of the virtues, but the parent of all others, says Cicero. From the bottom of my heart, I welcome Ms. Shruti Kannan, Joint Convener, Kerala Law Academy Moot Court Society, to give the vote of thanks to this valedictory session. Shruti, please.
Thank you so much, Gokul. A delightful evening to all the dignitaries, faculty members, participants, and all others present on the virtual dais. I consider this as a privilege and pleasure to propose the vote of thanks for all of you present here for the valedictory function of a first international mediation competition 2022, put forth by Kerala Academy Law College in association with KLA MCS. We are indeed grateful to Mr. Bob Oberstein, arbiter, mediator, investigator, educator, Washington, for delivering the valedictory address and also for declaring the winners of our first edition of mediation competition. We sincerely appreciate the generosity and readiness shown by our esteemed guest in accepting our invitation. On behalf of Kerala Academy, teachers, students, non-teaching staff, and on my own behalf, I propose a sincere thanks to you, sir. We are delighted to have Mr. Dogan Bader, arbiter, mediator, LLM, MA, Los Angeles, California. It's been an immense pleasure for us to hear your words of wisdom and to learn from your experience. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy Law College, teachers, students, non-teaching members, and on my own behalf, I propose a sincere thanks to you, sir. Now, I would like to express my overwhelming gratitude to Mr. Antolivier Kostruba, Doctor of Law, Professor, Civil Law Department, Ukraine. We're delighted and we're highly indebted to him for spending his busiest time in judging our final rounds. For the same, today we had the opportunity to hear thoughts and feedback during the final rounds, and that was definitely encouraging and inspiring for all the participants. On behalf of Kerala Academy Law College, teachers, students, non-teaching staff, and on my own behalf, I propose a sincere vote of thanks to you, sir. We're highly indebted to him for the same. Now, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Advocate Nagaraj Narayan Sir, Director, Kerala Law Academy, for being the constant source of motivation. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy Law College and all others, I propose my sincere vote of thanks to you, sir. Now, moving on to our beloved principal, Sri Harindran K. He's always been a source of inspiration for all the academic activities happening in our college. He always extends his support and guidance to all our competitions, conferences, international seminars, workshops organized in our college. On behalf of the whole college, teachers, students, non-teaching staff, and my own behalf, I propose a sincere vote of thanks to you, sir. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record a heartily thanks to Sri Anil Kumar K, Director, Student and Faculty Affairs, Kerala Academy Law College. He's an embodiment of distinguished thought and innovation. Sir gave us constant guidance throughout the event and played a very crucial role in making this event a grand success. I thank you, sir, for instilling confidence in each one of us to make this competition a grand success. Now, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Mr. N.K. Shashidharan Sir, Assistant Professor, Kerala Academy Law College, for delivering the welcome address. Thank you so much, sir. Next, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Mrs. Darshana S. Thambi, ma'am, Assistant Professor, Kerala Academy Law College, for proposing the felicitation. Thank you so much, ma'am. A particular word and thanks to Dr. Dakshina Saraswati ma'am, Assistant Professor and General Secretary, Kerala Academy Medical Society, and Advocate Arya Sunil Paul, Assistant Professor, Kerala Academy, for being a constant source of support for the smooth conduct of the event. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Professor Anil Kumarji, Sir, Ajita Nair L ma'am, Ranjit R. Nair Sir, Prajita ma'am, Vidya VV ma'am, Radhika RP ma'am, Priya MK ma'am, and Shalini AP ma'am, the faculty conveners of the competition, for the commitment in making this event a grand success. Moreover, I like to thank and convey sincere gratitude to Arun Unitan Sir, Sachin B Sir, Reshma Soman ma'am, the faculty conveners of all of the committees, for the dedicated work, effort for the smooth conduct of the competition. To all the judges who evaluated the rounds, and on behalf of Kerala Academy Law College, I extend my deepest gratitude to all of them for their time, efforts, and commitment. Last, I would like to thank all of you who have worked behind the curtains to make this event a reality. I conclude by extending my sincere thanks to all the participating team, faculty conveners, teacher, student conveners, volunteers, committee members, non-teaching staff of the office, and those who all are present here to make this international mediation competition put forth by Kerala Academy Law College in association with KLA MCS a grand success. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shruti, for expressing your heartfelt vote of thanks to this valedictory session. I take this opportunity to extend my gratitude towards you two for your contribution.
We cannot conclude without adequately acknowledging the efforts put to bring this event to its finality. We have a behind-the-scenes video acknowledging the same. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
The Kerala Law Academy Law College is organizing its first international mediation competition virtually.
That is indeed a paid homage to the tremendous amount of work infused to bring this event to its polished version.
With this, we have come to the end of the first international mediation competition put forward by Kerala Law Academy Moot Court Society in association with Kerala Law Academy ADR Forum under the aegis of Kerala Law Academy Law College. Before we drop the curtains of this resplendent event, I request all of you to raise up for the national anthem. Thank you all.
The satisfaction of fulfilling the duty of finding out the best mediators from teams across the country, we have reached the end of the monumental event. Thank you all for your kind patience and cooperation. This is Hanan
GS Gokul.
signing off. Once again, thank you all.